Thanks for joining me again. So I'm excited to share this video with you just because in my own game, when I do a really good job of moving around my lead hip, it just makes everything else easier. So for players that have been looking at improving their transition, getting their lead hip in a good position at impact, and just move better globally as a player, this could be a video that I find it was game changing for me to put my attention there and put more awareness there. And I'm hoping that for some of you out there watching, you have the same kind of sensations and feelings when you implement this into your game. So let's look at the lead hip and what we're looking for and what movement we're making through backswing. So often the focus is on moving into the trail hip, but how we move into our trail side is very much influenced by how we move from our lead side. And moving into the trail hip, we're moving into internal rotation in the trail hip there. And to kind of in that movement, moving across that way, we're actually moving into external rotation at the lead hip. But in many cases, when players are moving from their lead side to their trail side, it's in a way where there's not much, I mean, resistance is the word that comes to mind for me. Resistance in stretching the system from the lead side to the trail side there, and the lead side will cave in, the lead hip will move, and often we just won't have that controller on the lead hip that we'd really want to. In many good players, you'll see the lead hip not move. If we were to actually allocate or pick a point out on the lead hip here, it wouldn't actually move a lot through the backswing in space, whether we're looking at lift, drop, thrust, those areas there. It wouldn't be that much movement in comparison to amateurs golfers that, let's just say, have more inconsistency with their low point, their contact and their club delivery. Okay, so let's look at what that external rotation could feel like for you as a player. For me, when I do a good job of it, it feels as though there's very much a stretch coming from that lead hip. And it feels as though I maintain my pressure longer in my lead heel. Now, me and sharing my feelings is obviously it can be helpful for some, but for many players it may not connect because we all feel things differently. So an exercise that I want to share with you that really helped me connect with the movement around the lead hip is a single leg balance with a rotation. So that is me working on moving into external rotation in the lead hip there. So I'll just show you this from a different angle. So I'm getting nice and tall, I'm going into a good hip hinge, I'm not lifting my toe far off the ground, and I'm just rotating, keeping the belt buckle and my sternum in line there. So that feeling around the lead hip is what I'm looking to achieve in the backswing. If that is a bit challenging for some of you players out there, what I want you to do is to get into a good standing posture, go into a good hip hinge, which is hugely important for having the range you want around that lead hip, and then just slide your foot back so you're on your toe on your trail foot here. So just to help with the balance aspect, and then again keeping the belt buckle and sternum a sense of togetherness as we rotate there, and that will give the sense of the lead hip being more controlled. I would say moving less, but a sense of how we'd want to rotate around the lead hip there. So a couple of those can be really helpful. And of course here I've kind of skipped past the importance of setup, the bend I mentioned in the hip there, very, very important, and the alignment of limbs from face on. But obviously, I mean, a general one that I often use is ankle, knee and hip in line from face on. So if we have the awareness of good limb alignment from face on, ankle, knee, hip, and then making sure we're in a good bend at the hip that allows the rotation in backswing. So after you've done a couple of your rotations there, pick up a club and start slowly moving through backswing, trying to feel a similar sensation that you had then when doing the rotations. And for me, when I work on this, it definitely feels like a wind up, like I mentioned before, there's a nice stretch across that lead hip. And then after you've got a clear feel for you of what that connects, that kind of connects to the movement, a good understanding or a good awareness, then start hitting some, just at slow motion. So almost winding back, getting a good sense of what it feels like to be in that lead hip, and then just nice and easy, just pitching some out there, nice, say 20-30% swings, feeling that stretch. So focus here is really on, am I creating the stretch, the feel, the rotation around that lead hip that I'm really desiring to create and implement in my golf swing. So I'll hit one more here. So I mean, it feels really, really good when I'm there. It feels like I got a lot of control, like I can move into the downswing the way that I would like to. Just went with a little bit of a pause there. I wasn't really intending to do that, was just more into my awareness of the lead hip and what I want to do specifically in the backswing. So may not be in the way that I desire long term to move in transition. I don't know, I'd have to look at the video, but I'm focusing that purely on the backswing in that movement.